So today we have a bunch of Q&A, which is great.
Yeah, had heaps of questions come through.
Heaps of questions. Hello, Jake.
Oh, hello.
Thanks for joining us. I guess I'll be on the swivel today. But to start with, Phoebe, I want to hear about your retreat, how it was, your findings.
What was it?
What was it? Yeah, just tell us everything about it. Take your time as well, because people don't know.
It was the elite retreat. It was the inaugural elite retreat, and it was fantastic. So it was run by Elite Agent Magazine, I think they are. I heard about it through a network of agents that we do a lot of work with, and basically it's a real estate-based conference. It has positioned itself as a conference for leaders in the arena, and there were definitely a lot of higher level big thinkers in the room, which was great to see. I think it was about 150 agents there, and they literally had every state and territory in Australia represented, including New Zealand. So that was great. It was the presentations, the caliber and the quality of presentations was amazing, and obviously those conversations that happen outside of the conference room are also fantastic. So there were three particular speakers that I took a lot from. Dr. Jason Fox, he's very much a motivational thinker. Honestly, I felt like I was being presented to by like Sherlock Holmes. He was very alternate and very much in the zone when he's presenting. So he was talking very much about default thinking and how busyness and success and how basically you get to at that point once you've been operating at a high level for a long time, you become more of default thinking, how it inhibits reinvention, and you get into this zone where you stop introducing things and it becomes other people's fault when there's stuff that happens, and you stop working on the business so much. So I really took a lot away from him in that particular regard. How do you stop that pattern of default thinking? He didn't give the answer.
Oh.
No, he did not. He gave strategies on how to be aware of it.
Well, that's the first step, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And I guess, so basically what the start of it, the words he used was that point, atrophy of empathy starts. So that's at the point when you start thinking, so for us as a styling company, a client complains about saying, well, of course they're going to complain, they're too attached to their house, they're not ready to sell it, it's their fault. Or the real estate agent, of course they think they're a stylist, and those sort of comments that can really start to come out, and things that we do here, being less about them, more about us and how we can preempt those things and strategies we can bring in so that we don't get into that default way of it being somebody else. So awareness is definitely
I think
one.
Another way is probably to go to events like you've just been to, because it resets, and a good holiday does that too. Sometimes you step away and come back.
I'm not going to complain about 3 nights with no kids. That was great. Scott Bateman was another fantastic speaker. So he was super inspirational, as in he's got a grade 10 education. He actually ended up going to Harvard, just by all the things that he's done in his life. But what he spoke about was being a service-based leader versus being a price leader, and then what sort of avenue do you want to go down? Do you want to be Apple or JB Hi-Fi? Do you want to be Telstra? Actually I should say it the same way. Do you want to be Apple or JB Hi-Fi? Do you want to be Tesla or do you want to be Toyota? Like, you're going to niche yourself in something and be a service-based thing, or do you want to be pumping it out based on price? And like, they're both of them work tremendously well. Just what do you want to do? And he was saying, which rabbit do you want to chase? Because you can't chase 2 rabbits because you're never going to catch them both.
Yep.
But the things he discussed about real life problems at the moment, and how they can impact us. So basically he was talking about the pricing of fruit and vegetables going up, and how that increases inflation, and how inflation increases interest, all these different things, how they're all connected. It was really good.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then conveniently went on a beautiful big boat last night and had my first alcoholic drink in about a year. That was great.
Excellent. Didn't fall overboard.
I tripped up the stairs. That was before I even had a drink. That was a bit embarrassing. I made a joke about falling in the water, and then I literally tripped up the stairs. Anyway.
And Jake, how did you go without Phoebe?
It was a breeze.
The kids slept.
Me and the 4 kids slept, No one woke up through the night, which is a pretty rare thing, and I keep telling Phoebe, it's just, it's a sense of calm, they take it from you.
It's so cool.
Well, that gives you permission to head away.
Yeah, right. Next year it's in Bali. Here I go.
There you go.
I'm going.
Okay, so we do have a bunch of Q&A, but before we start, well, it is a Q&A. It's just sort of our main topic, main question. So this comes from Katie, from Kate Elise Interiors. I have had my staging business for 2 years, and I feel it is a good time for me to create a survey to send all of our customers asking for their feedback on how my business is performing, like we did a while back. I would love some advice on good questions to ask my customers or clients.
I guess it sort of depends on what you want to get out of it.
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times, kind of an annual thing. I think.
Yeah, we use SurveyMonkey, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds right. And we kind of focused it on our business and what we do well, what other people, so either clients or agents, think we do well, all the things that we can improve on. Hear noises in the background, that's Evie. So I can't remember the specific questions, but
we did multiple choice for quite a few.
It was things like, which of these is the most important factor in a good staging company? And we kind of listed out all the things that could have been answers, things like great communication, great styling, good pricing,
quality of product,
all those sorts of things.
Flexibility.
And the idea for us was to say we want to know, what we think is important and what we kind of in our branding and what's important to us in terms of our service delivery, is that matching what the people who work with us, the agents, is that what they think is important, and are we on the same page, so that if we're not, we can look at making adjustments or potentially look at our branding and those sorts of things. So
So you know what's going on behind the camera. Susanna's trying to put in Evie's dummy and Evie's just smiling at her. It's not working.
The idea of the survey, I think that was actually really helpful for us. I think it's a really good, either reinforcement or something that gives you some ideas, things to tweak, things that maybe you didn't realise about the people you're working with.
Mm. So really it's just about trying to find out what's important to your clients. What's important to them, what are their pain points.
And some of the things that maybe aren't as important or things that, I can't remember if we asked what the specific question was, but we included an open-ended sort of question, which was like, what would you like to see from us? Mm-hmm. What new, I think we had probably two. There was like what is something, an idea or something that you'd like to see different, like a new implementation, new ideas. And then there was some version of what part of what we do hasn't quite met your expectations or some version of that. So I gave them the opportunity. And we got a couple of responses on that from memory that ended up leading to us changing, either reinforcing something that we used to do well that maybe had slipped, or
so we had an agent that said, as an agent, I'd love to know when you're finishing up. So we do deal with the client a lot, and he would just have that the assurance it's all done and have some pickies flick through so that he can throw them straight up to his social media. So that was one. We had another one that said, I'd love to see a range of new stock, and he hadn't used this for a little while, so it gave us the ability to address that and show him all the different things that we've got so that he knows that we have got new stock. Then we had some other, obviously you're always going to get not so helpful comments. Someone did suggest that as a referral, they'd like a gift after every referral they send our way, but to be able to address and let him know why we don't do that, that was also very beneficial. It just gives the ability to pop those things in. And Jake's good memory, he would remember that.
Would you say it's good to ask for feedback over the phone and in person as well? I guess these sort of surveys, I don't know if they're anonymous or not. If they can be, I'm sure they can be, are good ways for people to be honest and open, because sometimes it's not as easy to give feedback to someone's face. So it is good to do a survey, but sometimes it's also good.
Your hand is like chopping my head off.
Sometimes it's good to speak in person as well.
Yeah. So once I introduced Gabby as Foxy Consult Stylist, she was a new person who came on board. So I obviously knew she was doing fantastic, but I wanted to make sure that the way I thought she was doing fantastic was also being received well by agents who were a reflection of. So I would call and give them a call, ask for feedback, have a chat, and ask for feedback, give them the opportunity to let us know exactly how everything was going. And I will often ask all of our clients to get an email to do Google review as well.
They're different types of feedback as well. I think the survey is a great idea because it lets you get a lot of feedback all around the same questions from multiple people. Yep. And for us, we target it at the agents because we do multiple work for most of them. Mm-hmm. So it was a way for us to really go back to the people who are going to be referring more work and we're going to do more work for. Whereas the client feedback requests that we get, it's great to know, and if there's anything that we can take away and improve for somebody else, the next job, then that's good. But generally those people aren't our next job. Most of those aren't repeat clients. So yeah, it's, for us, the survey in particular was a really good way of talking to the agents.
Staged NZ asks, what do you give as a gift? I think you might have misheard that.
Yeah, so that was a suggestion that the agent had said he would love sort of, I guess, appreciation after every time he sends a referral our way. And so it was a discussion about why we don't do that. So we don't actually provide a gift. It's an ongoing relationship we have with an agent that their vendors will actually benefit from an ongoing relationship from us. And at Christmas time, we say thank you.
Yep.
They usually get like a set of muffins or something, like a...
Muffins?
I don't know, like a little... What's the word I'm looking for?
The hamper.
Hamper, yeah. That's
Jake's not in charge of Christmas presents.
No, it isn't.
You get 4 boxes of muffins.
that's kind of for those agents that we do a lot of work for at the end of the year, but we definitely don't do it per job or anything like that.
No.
Okay, on to the questions, or more questions. My Sick Fit Life, who asked the question last week. I've heard you talk about how you bag up bedding at the pack-ups, but still confused what you mean.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be worth running through it again on a Foxy TV, hey? So basically, for us, obviously everything's about efficiency. So all of our bedding that we have on a bed, so obviously you've got your sheets of valances, that's the thing that goes over the base. You've got the bedding that you sleep under, so your doona and your pillows, everything you sleep on, then you've got all the pretty stuff that we put on top. These all get bagged up. So these all go into very clear see-through bags that we get from IKEA. They're put into certain arrangements in these bags so that when they come back, our stylists can grab them off the shelf to know exactly what in each bag. They know they're clean, they know that they're ready to go, and that there's no time waste in between these jobs.
So we don't have to unbag everything when we get back to the warehouse.
It's all set and ready to go. So that's what
for some
bag
things.
up
So
means.
we do that with things like the Euro pillows. Like you don't need to unbag Euro pillows and put them on shelves. We just leave them in the bags and bedding. Cushions that come back and they all get taken out, and sheets and
all the pretty stuff comes out.
Yeah,
because that's different for every house.
And same person asking the question, want to see how you create a properly styled bed. My beds don't look as good as yours, so perhaps we can combine those for a
definitely.
Foxy TV episode.
Let's do it.
Okay, TT_Bree asks, what booking system do you use?
Phoebe. Phoebe and Elise. So basically, we get a phone call in, or a text message, or an email, and the job books in from that point. So we'll book into a consultation using Google Calendars. We use a project management system called Trello. Those two combined is how everything is managed and taken care of.
We do have a online what do you call it? The booking request form or quote form.
So that's all inbuilt through
WordPress.
WordPress. So it's called WP Forms. It's just a plugin that you have, and it's great. But basically, if they say they want this time and that time's already taken, they don't communicate, so we get a double booking. So it's great, as in there's so many people, and this is actually talked about this conference, Cody, about the need for people to serviceability for themselves, basically. So people don't want to talk to someone. And that's the whole reason I have it. I'm one of those people who would rather book it online at night without talking to somebody. So that's the whole reason we have it. And it actually gets used quite a bit.
Yep.
It's the first point of contact for some people.
Yep.
Like we obviously,
but
once it comes through that, it goes through to, like, we get an email notification and we kind of phone call email from there.
Yeah.
Meraki Home Staging says, so I need a Phoebe.
Yes, I'll clean myself.
You mentioned the booking system there. That's a question we received from Plush Home Design and Staging. Do you use any software to project manage your jobs? And if so, what one have you found works best?
Trello, and I think you've done a Foxy TV on that, so you can probably link that up somewhere. Yeah. So Trello's fantastic. And it's a free, we haven't had to pay for it yet.
No, it's free.
I don't know what capacity it's free to, but basically every single job we do it goes into Trello. We can project manage it all the way through. You can have outside people come in. So I know there's other stylists that actually incorporate their real estate agents into the Trello boards, so they can put in timing for photos and have input that way. So it just depends on what sort of relationships you have with your agents and people. So.
Hike in the Right Direction asks, would you be open to turning your styling training manual into an online short course?
Probably gave a similar answer, or an answer to a similar question around how.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions around the training manual.
I think you've already answered the question about why we don't share that generally.
Yeah.
And it's probably a similar answer if you want to give that now, but it's
Yeah, I think
it's not that it's a definite no. It's because of the way that it's come together, right?
Yeah, it's very specific to the way that we train, the way we do it, and it would be, I guess, the bases are the same, or the formulas and everything are the same. But
the other thing is it depends on what you would want it for. So if you're talking about an online training manual, it isn't something that you could sit at home and read about. Like there's so much of the doing. It's all about kind of checklists and going through certain examples of properties and doing the styling multiple times. So a lot of it is really, you kind of have to do it in a styling position.
So each of just to break it down, each of the components, each of the modules has a theoretical component and has a practical component. So at the very start, for example, we talk about artwork hanging. I walk through all the different types of art, all the different type of mounts, the way that we would do it on each type of wall, photographs, all that sort of thing. But being told that is completely different to hanging artwork in each different property. It's different to having somebody watch you hang the artwork. It's differently to you then hanging it on a brick wall versus a gyprock wall versus your first fibro wall. You need to do it. So basically they've got to go do 10 of each surface before they have that module signed off. So you have to do it concurrently and you have to do it. Otherwise, it doesn't just come. It's not like riding a bike. You don't remember it forever. You need to do it and keep doing it.
And then I suppose if we go down that route, you become a training business or educational business, which if you wanted to keep it up and do it right, would take a lot of time.
Yeah, we're happy to be helpful and share and answer questions, but it's not
that's someone's business.
Yeah, it's not a business that we want to run.
Not right now anyway.
No.
Busy enough, right?
Yes, it's great.
Jodie Summer asks, what rules do you have around outdoor furniture? Do you ask agents to bring, she says, decor inside?
I saw Jodie's question come through, and there was another person that asked this question. I think they flicked it up as a comment on a post. Okay. So basically, no, we don't. We don't have, firstly, part of your question, we don't have rules as far as the stylist positioning in them, all that sort of thing, whether or not we use outdoor dining or outdoor lounge. The only thing we would ever say is if you have an indoor dining, we would never position an outdoor dining directly next to that. So that would be the only rule that we have when we've got our outdoor furniture. With it being out on site, no, we do not ask our agents to bring all that furniture in. So the reason, just in case anybody's not aware, a lot of stylists do ask for that furniture, the cushions, the accessories, everything to be brought in.
Or covered up.
Yeah. And I just struggled with that idea because agents are time pressed.
We're there to make their life easy.
Yeah, and they've got to get from open home to open home, and they've got to spend that time getting a deal together, not taking our furniture out.
It doesn't seem like a big deal, and the agents that are asked to do that and have been for a while and do it probably say it's not a big deal, like they don't mind. But if you're, I don't know, we just didn't feel like that was the right thing to do for something that just makes their, like I said, we're there to make their life easier.
So we get around that by buying quality furniture that has that guarantee to be out in the sun and out in the exposed weather. We have cushions also that have that guarantee that they can be out in the weather and have a 20-year warranty. Basically, even if they get like bat poo, which is probably one of the worst things to get on any fabric, it just wipes off with a baby wipe. So that's 3 Beach Textiles. It is an investment, 100% an investment on a cushion. I'm talking about $100 for a cushion cover, but then I don't have to replace that cushion for 20 years. So it makes sense.
We also accept it as a cost of business that sometimes we're going to lose furniture. Like there's only so many uses, or we have to revarnish things.
Timber's by far got the smallest lifespan of any furniture that can go for outdoor. But it's also given us the biggest troubles.
Yeah.
The stain, once it's rained on, we've had a couple where the stains leaked. So we avoid timber.
But we also, you are deliberate about knowing whether something is actually out to the elements, like it's going to get rained on, and we use particular furniture where we can. Like the timber stuff doesn't go out where it's going to get rained on when we can help it.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth Schuster asks, this is a long shot. Do you happen to know industry prices in Sydney? We are based in Sydney and other home stages don't really share their prices like you do.
I don't understand not sharing prices because you can find that out so easily, but unfortunately, I do not know. No, we do not know the pricing in Sydney.
Fair enough. Had to ask.
Maybe a Sydney stylist could
if there's
jump
any
on in the
Sydney
mix.
stylists on Instagram,
what's a two-bed unit priced in at?
That'd be awesome. And this question comes from me. Is there something small you've changed or something small you've purchased recently that has had a a positive impact in your life?
Do you know the answer to this question?
No,
Is there a reason?
no, this
Okay.
is just a general.
Is there something small that's had a positive
just thought
impact?
I'd throw it
Business
out
or
there.
personal?
Either.
Do you know what I would
Okay.
like to buy that would have a positive impact in my
Yeah.
life and I haven't bought it?
What's that?
This is a
A
birthday.
robotic
thing.
vacuum.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
A Roomba.
And I asked for one
Yeah.
for Christmas and he wouldn't get it for me because it was too
imagine,
boring.
Do I want to be the guy that gets his wife a vacuum for Christmas?
Well,
Yeah.
she wants it.
That's what I would like.
This is not a small purchase, but I've started using the iPad that you already were.
Oh, yeah.
But like for some of the,
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things that I do every day that takes up a chunk of time is the truck run sheet, the schedule the next day. And it was, because we're very flexible and things change quite quickly, I was finding that if I was organised and did it early in the day, 95% of the time I'd have to just scrap it and redo it because enough changed that it basically became
Yeah.
worthless. And it was getting very frustrating. So instead of doing that, I'd leave it until later in the day, and then we had the kids and dinner and all, and then I was doing the schedule for the next day at 8:30 at night, and it's just, I don't want to have
Silly.
to be doing that.
Yeah.
So the iPad, I've started using the Note Shelf app, I think
Yeah.
it's called. Like just basically, I've got some templates set up, and I can do it with the the little stylus. And if things change, it's now a 30-second job
Yeah.
to quickly shift a few things, and it makes the whole life easier. So
that's
that's the
good.
first thing that comes to mind. Not a small purchase, but yeah, it's made a
No,
difference.
I like it. Thank you. Good answers. Okay, that's
What
the
about
questions
you?
done. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Earplugs.
Earplugs.
For those who don't remember or don't know, Cody's recently had a baby.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I'm not sure.
Earplugs. Men don't need earplugs. Men sleep through it.
Oh, I'd certainly don't.
Generalisation there.
Should I ask Tyler?
All right. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I'm working off not much sleep today.
You've got a comment.
Oh, okay. Okay. What is the best way to select artwork? I find I am bursting with ideas and change of style every time I find a new art piece. It can be overwhelming, and I find I get bored with pieces. How do you set? I don't want to click things because I might accidentally break it. But yeah,
How do you select art?
best way to select artwork.
There's two different ways the girls select art. So basically, are we working off a colour scheme that we need to incorporate a colour scheme into a house? And so then we will work off the art first, and we'll choose those arts. Do I have a limited number of cushions that I need to make sure that my art matches in my cushions, or opposite way around? Or am I incorporating a colour that I want to love? So, and that last option is I have a full warehouse and have selections available wherever I want. So, I feel like this has got enough on it to delve into a little bit more. So hold that thought, and I will get back to you with more thought on it.
Okay, finish the episode. Quick over and underrated. Business retreats.
Oh, underrated until now. No, overrated until now.
Yeah,
See, I
okay.
really struggle with that. I do it every week.
I should do over and underrated. The over and underrated segment.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bed steamers.
No. Overrated?
Did you mean to say underrated? Same answer there? You meant to say overrated.
No. Business retreats, underrated. I think they're great.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You're still struggling with the concept.
Steamers.
It's on the fourth week.
Move on, quick.
Steamers. No, underrated.
Underrated.
We don't even...
We haven't been, no, but,
struggle with
okay, beds being steamed, underrated.
Bed being, okay. Wireless headphones.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Winter as a season.
Well, in the middle of summer, I'm definitely going to say underrated.
Yeah.
In the middle of winter, I say overrated.
I don't know.
Depends.
By who, yeah.
And accounting software.
Overrated. I've got one.
I don't know. I'd say underrated because it does make your life a lot easier.
I've got two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susanna's over there.
And that is it for this week's podcast. Thanks for joining us on Instagram Live. Those who joined along, thanks for watching on YouTube and everywhere else. And thanks for listening. And we'll be back here next week.
Woo.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.